All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to get started. We'll get some great items. We'll ask you to take your seats, and let's kick this thing off.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Vice President of Human Resources for Champ Sports, Rebecca Kreitzik.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, I'm going to ask you to do something, and you can actually chew and do this at the same time, I promise you. Okay, I want you to close your eyes, all right? No, really, I want you to just sit back for a second, and I want you to close your eyes. I'll let you know when you can open them. All right, here we go. So close your eyes and imagine it's not Friday night, but Friday afternoon at the Dream Center, fully alive with the laughter of children. You can hear the squeaking sound of sneakers on the gym floor, the swoosh through the basketball net, and probably a little trash talk. Let's go out the gymnasium doors, and around the corner, we run into Patrick, who has his hand on the shoulder of one of the young men, gently mentoring the right and respectful way to address one of the adults. Next, we see Miss Drina, who seems to be everywhere at once, organizing the children for their afternoon activities, providing structure and discipline in a world where many may go home to households of chaos and uncertainty. Now let's move down the hall to the classroom. You'll see one of the many volunteers from the Longboat Key Christ Church who come here each week to tutor the children in the Reading Recovery Program. And in the MBA Cares Lab, you'll see one of the mentors from the Tropicana Mosaic Group working with one of the youngsters on one of the 24 donated computer stations. These are the sights and sounds of love, laughter, caring, and purpose that reverberate off of these walls each day. You can open your eyes now. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the walls that you helped to build, and the children inside are our purpose of being here tonight. Congratulations. So with that, I say welcome to the 10th Annual Celebrity Sports Weekend, not just night, but weekend to support the children of the 13th Avenue Community Center. We have another great event planned for this evening, but before we get to it, we do want to give our thanks to our vendor partners and local sponsors. So let's start with JP and the great Nike team, not only as our golf tournament's presenting sponsor this year, but for their many years of support and partnership for the 13th Avenue Community Center. As national champion sponsors tonight, and as national champions always in our hearts, we thank our friends at Adidas, NBA, Reebok, Print for Change, and Under Armour. Please be sure to check out the computer lab, completely outfitted by the MBA Cares program, as you walk through the center this evening. We want to thank our friends at Converse, New Era, Majestic, Division 6, and Zambezi for supporting us this year as a conference champion sponsor. And thanks to our league leader sponsors, Oakley and Accessory Brands. DMX, Florida Citrus Sports, and Reebok SLD, thank you for your table sponsorships. In addition to the Champ Sports vendor family and community who contribute every single year and played a huge part in the building of this center, we also have many in our local community who support the 13th Avenue Community Center, and not just tonight, but all year through. Our dear friend and board member, Dorothy Middleton, is back with us again this evening and has 2 tables of 13th Avenue friends. Dorothy, we're so glad to see you feeling well and back with us. We want to thank our board member, Lillian Elliott, for her stewardship of the conference level contribution. from Tropicana, in addition to the annual support given by their Mosaic Employee Resource Group. We also want to thank those businesses and community resources who have purchased a table tonight, especially Sun Hydraulics, who have been here every single year for the past 10 years. Thank you, guys. We can count on you every year. Our new friends from Blaylock Walters, the YMCA, NDC Construction, who, by the way, literally played a part in building these walls. Thank you. Bright House is here again this year. Thank you all so much for all you do. And the Pittsburgh Pirates and Marauders organization are here as well. And as always, the Bradenton Herald, we thank you for your in-kind support. And a couple quick shout outs to our friend Charles and the METV team, once again here providing their support, and the Caputo creative team who always helps with our beautiful presentations, and a few special guests that I'd like to recognize. First of all, Bradenton City Councilwoman Mary Ann Barnaby and Mark Barnaby are here tonight, and again, Mary Ann just doesn't come here to this event once a year. She actively sponsors this event, but also supports this community, and we thank you so much, Mary Ann, for all you do for us. Also, Manatee County School Board member, I believe Barbara Harvey, is here tonight. And on a personal note, I really would like to thank the Senior Vice President of Human Resources for Foot Locker, Inc., Lori Bertucci, who is here from New York City this evening representing the Foot Locker Foundation. Lori, we're happy to have you here. And of course, our president and CEO, who provides tremendous support to all of us on the Champ Sports team who work so hard on this event. I also want to thank you, Brian, and you'll hear from him a little later on in the program. So thank you to the CSW Dream Team Committee and all of you volunteers. You make the night sparkle, you make the night special, and we couldn't do this without you. And of course, our celebrity athletes, and Coach Bowden is here this evening, and you'll be meeting them and learning more about them in just a few minutes. So be sure in between bidding on our 100 silent auction packages. They're fantastic, the best ever. You gotta put your bids in. Please take a few minutes to just peek into classrooms tonight. We have teachers and volunteers here who are excited and happy to tell you more about the programs and answer your questions. And finally, I have just one more little shout out. Somebody has a birthday tonight. He happens to be an individual that's been working hard on this event and a member of my team. So I want to say happy birthday, Gabe Salazar, in the back of the room. All right, that's it. Thank you all so much again for being here. It's hard to believe, 10 years, 8 years, 7 years, 6 years ago, all of us were around a small little conference room in a broken down old building trying to figure out how we were going to make this happen. And it is because of all of you that we are all in this building today, and we couldn't be more excited and thankful and humble by the support that you've given. So have a wonderful time tonight. Spend a lot of money. And let's get this party started, shall we, John? I'm proud to turn things over once again to our own Mr. John Wampy, Mr. MC of Celebrity Sports Weekend. John, take it away.
Happy birthday, Gabe. All right, so let's kick this off. So you guys came here. Again, this a lot of ways to spend your Friday night. And again, I'm very excited to be in this building. This is no longer a dream. It's a reality. But let's pay that dream off tonight. Let's build this center. Who wants to make this center even bigger for the community of Bradenton? Are you with me? All right. I want to introduce a few of the special athletes and Coach Bowden. I want to start off and thank you for joining us tonight. From the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he was the third-round draft pick in 1977. He played 13 seasons in the NFL. He was a four-time Pro Bowl selection. Tampa Bay Bucks Ring of Honor. And I don't know if you knew this, little trivia for you, but he holds the record for all-time Buccaneers for most touchdowns in a game. Anyone know the number? 4 touchdowns. Please welcome Mr. Jimmy Giles. Jimmy, tight end. Thank you for being here, Jimmy. We'd also like to welcome for the first time to the event. He was with the New Jersey Nets, the Hornets, the Celtics, the Trailblazers, the Clippers, the Pacers, and the Hawks. He was the 2nd overall pick in 1991 by the NBA, by the New Jersey Nets. He played in 1990 in the Final Four. He was an All-Star in 1994, and he had scored over 10,000 points in his NBA career. So please welcome Mr. Kenny Anderson. Kenny. A lot would say one of the best athletes that New York City has ever offered. So, Kenny, thank you for being here. Next up, you all know this veteran to Celebrity Sports Night. He was a former NBA guard. He started with the Kansas City Kings, the Boston Celtics. He played for the New Jersey Nets as well. 12-year NBA career, 4-time NBA All-Star, all NBA second-team selection in 1981. So please welcome who he claims he's won the Pebble Beach raffle, but we'll check that later. The veteran to the group, thank you for being here, Mr. Otis Bergsong. Otis, thank you. Another first-timer for us. We're so grateful to have all these athletes join us. He played with the Padres, the Royals, the Yankees, the Cubs, and the Reds. 12-year career with Major League Baseball. He was drafted in the first round in 1990. 5 seasons of double-digit wins. His record was 91, 70 to 77 career record as a pitcher. Please welcome Dennis Rasmussen. Dennis, thank you for being here. And of course, us being in Florida, it's a great honor for us to have Coach Bobby Bowden. Coach, thank you for being here. Bobby Bowden is known as much for his charm as his championship teams. The legendary college football coach guided Florida State University to 300 victories. He holds the NCAA record for most career wins and bowl wins in Division I. 2-time national champion, 12-time ACC titles, finished in the top 5 in the country and 14 straight across seasons. And just so you know, something else about Bobby. Him and his wife have been together for 61 years, Ann, and they live in Tallahassee. I'd like to welcome to the stage our keynote speaker for this evening, Coach Bobby Bowden. Coach.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and it's sure good to see everybody again. I thought we was going to eat. I've got an eat mentality right now. And he called on me to speak, but anyway, it's a pleasure. I want to tell you a little story before I talk seriously to you. Some of you folks, I met a lot of people tonight who had been to Florida State. Let me warn you, if you come to Tallahassee from the west, this is something that just started in the last year, but you need to know if you're not familiar with it. If you come from the west, Panama City, Pensacola, that way, the last town you hit before you hit Tallahassee is Quincy. Now, Quincy's a small little town, but in the main corner of town, on that 2-story building they got one 2-story building there. on the second floor, they got that traffic camera that you might not know about. And I found out the hard way. And if you break the speed limit, which is 35 right there, that thing will snap your picture, it'll get your tag, and they'll just send you a bill, you know. So anyway, I'd been over to Panama City, going back to Tallahassee. So as I came through Quincy, I knew that camera was there. So I cut my speed down to 30. And I saw that thing go off. I saw it click me. I heard it click me, and I could see it flash. I said, what the heck's going on here? I didn't break the speed limit. It's 35, and I'm going 30. And so I went around the block again, cut it down to 25. Click. I just got out of my car and looked up at that camera and shook my fist at it. I said, this is a rip-off. I ain't paying y'all a penny. I was not speeding, and I ain't going to pay it. And I took off. 2 weeks later, I get a letter from the sheriff over in Quincy. I got 5 tickets for not wearing a seatbelt. And I'll tell you that just so you'll know if you're driving up through there. I don't want you to get stuck like I did. This is the first time I have been associated with this group. I'd heard of you, but I didn't have any idea what you were, until I got down here. I started reading. I've been doing a lot of speaking since I've retired to the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And the reason I speak to that group so much is because I realize one of our biggest breakdowns in our society today is lack of family. Lack of family. I remember when I was a kid, 10 years of age, raised up there in Birmingham, Alabama, and summer nights, you know how the boys were. You get out there and you play at night under the street light. Might be 10 or 12 of you, Then about dark, your daddy'd call you home. Come home. It's time to come home. It's dark, And I remember out of 10 guys, 9 of them would have a family. There's always one that maybe he didn't have a dad or a mother, But there was always the majority. But now, hey, it's the other way around. It's the other way around. Now then, the family is the minority in our nation. Can you believe it? You see. And so that's why I see the value of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes trying to get these young boys and trying to get these coaches to be role models. Trying to get them to be role models. Yeah? Okay, why did I mention FCA? Y'all are not FCA. You probably got FCA. But it's because you're doing the same dadgum thing. You're doing the same thing, you see. And giving these young boys, these young girls a chance in life. You know what? Because they're missing it home. Gosh, I used to get, when I was coaching at Florida State, I'd get calls from mothers or letters from mothers, or daddies, why can't you help my son? Why can't you help my son? I'd say, look, you had him for 17 years. The most moldable years of a boy's life is his first 5 or 6 years. You know what? I get him, he's 18. Now, if he'll stay with me, I guarantee if he leaves here, he will be disciplined. He will learn about discipline, and he'll learn about love. And but what I'm saying is that is a need that we have in our country, and y'all are trying to meet that need. I can't think of a more vital thing except churches. I'll give church my first responsibility. You know what? But what you're doing in this organization is what our nation needs. And folks, it might be one of the things that can help save our nation, because I really believe we're facing a time of moral decay in our nation, and I sure hope we work out of it before we wait too late. There's one thing that's always stood up in history. You check your history books. Nations that obey God are blessed. Nations that disobey God are cursed. Now, we got to really watch out, haven't we? We've got to really watch out, and get our priorities in order. But anyway, again, I'm so proud of what you're doing here, and I'll guarantee you I'll talk you up wherever I go. And I wish other groups could do this. You know what? Because who's going to save our young people? Who's going to save these kids that don't have families? But thank you so much for what you're doing. When I speak to the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, I hope I don't go too long. He told me I could talk 15 minutes. I can't say my name in 15 minutes. But I'm going to hold it to 15 minutes. And so I'm cutting this thing a little bit short. But I'm on a little thing that when I talk to the FCA and even when I talk to you, you know what I talk to the coaches about? And you know what I talk to the players about, the young boys about? I talk to them about God not needing their ability. The kids got a lot of ability, a lot of athletic ability, and they think they're pretty dadgum important, And I try to say, son, God don't need your ability. God don't need my ability. Well, what does he want? He wants my availability. And he wants your availability. Because if you make yourself available to him, it's unbelievable what he can do. It's just unbelievable what he can do. Maybe I got time to tell this one story. Back in 1980, Florida State, we played the first game and we won it. We played the second game and won it. We played the third game and we were winning it in the fourth quarter. We were ahead by about 40 in the fourth quarter. My center gets hurt. He tears his knee up. His career's over. I put my second team center in the game. In about 5 plays, he sprains his ankle. He can't walk. I ain't got a center. You think them quarterbacks are valuable? Who do you think hands him the ball every play? But anyway, so gosh, what are we going to do? We lost our centers. We can't prepare but two. And we had a guard, our right guard. We had practiced him snapping the ball. And so we put him in there at center, and we finished the game. We were so far ahead, it didn't make any difference. So the next week we're going to play, and we were going to play the University of Miami. Now, don't get excited. This is back when they wasn't any good. And we wasn't either. I don't know if you remember, but back in the 70s, I think Florida State had lost 14 games in a row, and Miami had lost 17. They were fixing to play, and nobody could win. I mean, it's that bad. But anyway, we're going to play Miami down there. Well, no problem. We're going, and we were favored by about 10, 11. So this guard, he can handle Miami. So we go down there and play them. We fumble the quarterback center exchange 10 times. Miami gets 5 of them. Miami gets 5 of them. And we get upset. 10-9. We go for 2. We don't make it. They beat us 10-9, man. Now, the next week, we got to go to Nebraska and play them, and they're number 3 in the nation, and they're killing everybody. We ain't even got a center. Oh, gosh. So we go back to Tallahassee, and I get with the coaches and said, look, we got 2 centers down there on the freshman team. One's a kid from Cincinnati. He's about 6'3", about 235. Back then, that was pretty good size. You ain't 300 now, you can't play. That's about truth on that line of scrimmage. You got to be about 3, But anyway, this kid was 235, and he's a big physical kid from Cincinnati, a pretty tough kid, played center in high school. The other center was a walk-on, a boy that just came out for the team, about 190 pounds, from Savannah, Georgia. Good worker, He ain't going to ever play. He's just a good kid, But I love those kind of kids. I love those kind of kids. You know what? So I told the coaches, I said, get those 2 centers and work them equally. Let him take 5 steps, let him take 5. Let him take 5. You see, at the end of the week, we're going to decide who starts against Nebraska. And at the end of the week, after we'd practiced on Thursday, got the coaches together, we all felt unanimously that kid from Savannah is going to have to start because he don't ever snap it bad. The other kid there, he a good player. He can block. He can't block. He can block, but he'll fumble every 5 times. You know what? So we can't play them. We got to go with this kid that can snap. So anyway, we go up to Nebraska and we play them. They got us 14-0 first quarter. It's going to be a rout. You know, our defense starts playing pretty good. We kick a field goal right before the half. We go out 14-3. They're 14. We're 3. We come out the second half. Our defense starts playing pretty good and kind of shuts them down a little bit. You know, we somehow sneak in a touchdown. We kick 4 field goals. And with a game on the line, with a minute to go, they're on our 3-yard line, first down. They fumble. We recover, and we won that ball game. But here's the thing about it. My center ain't blocked their nose guard all day. I mean, we had minus 50 yards rushing at the half. Every time we tried to pass, that nose guard just run right by my center. You know what? And so second half, we started sprinting out. Maybe we could run away from him. And but anyway, but here's the thing about it. Nebraska had we intercepted 2 passes, and they fumbled twice, and we got them. How many turnovers we have? None. You know what? And I learned a real big lesson there. I learned a great lesson there. It's more than just ability. You know, it's availability. It's dependability, you know. And we won because we had a center that couldn't play, but he was dependable. And I want to thank all of y'all. I can see the dependability, the dependence that this group needs in this in this part of the city here, you know, to make this function. And boy, you're doing a tremendous job. I wish every town I'd go into had something like this. Golly, our nation would have a chance. Well, I guess my 15 minutes up, so I guess I better shut up. All right, where do we go from here next, man? Somebody else supposed to ask me.
Coach, thank you so much. Appreciate that, Coach.
Thank you, brother.
We're going to invite you to have a seat. We've got a little panel of Q&As. Go and have a seat right back here.
Oh, yeah? I ain't been fed yet.
We're going to keep you up here without feeding Coach here, so we got to make this quick. At this point, we'd like Otis, Kenny, Dennis, Jimmy, join us on stage. Come on up, take a seat. Little Q&A for you. Get those stairs. Come on up. All right, again, have a seat, gentlemen. Otis, thank you. You got the ticket? 5, 6, 3. Again, you know, we take this opportunity every year. You guys make this event for us. You being here really elevates it, allows us, obviously, to get the exposure we need for these kids. So once again, thank you for being here. We obviously put some questions together for you. So I'm going to do this randomly. And, you know, I want you to speak from the heart. We have the microphones there. I'm going to start with you, Otis, so if you want to grab that phone. Got the question. So we talk about youth, and you've been here. So what advice would you give today's youth if they were told their dream was to play in the NBA, the elite class? What would you tell them? What do you tell kids?
Ironically, I do basketball camps in the summertime for underprivileged kids throughout different cities in the United States. And Mr. Bowden is correct. You know, I do a camp in Patterson, New Jersey, which is the poorest city in New Jersey. And I just wish they had a facility or something like this. I mean, this is just tremendous. But the first thing I tell them, there's nothing wrong with having dreams. I mean, I idolized players when I was small, and I envisioned one day being in the NBA. But the first thing I tell them is that their chances of making the NBA is by like winning the lottery. It's more important to get an education. That's the main thing. Get the education first. Because there are only 30 NBA teams, 12 players on every team. That's 360 players in the NBA out of hundreds of thousands of universities. So your chances of becoming an NBA player really is slim and none. So the first thing I tell them is have those dreams, but get an education.
So what do you think? So you say, you know, we talk about this facility giving dreams to kids. What do you tell kids? You know, what do you tell the kids that are from that neighborhood? What do you tell them to do first? You say, get the education. But where do they go? Do they have a place like this? Are they have mentors? You know, what advice do you give them specifically to get them right on the right track?
Well, you know, Coach Bowden, a lot of the things that he said is so true. Like, now, I grew up in a single-parent home. My father died when I was 8 years old. I'm from a family of 12 kids. So I also tell them just because you are from a single-parent home, some of them because of divorce, some of them because of single parents, it doesn't mean you can't make it. I mean, I'm a prime example of that. 12 kids, no father. I played in the NBA. I have a college degree. So you still can make it even though you're in a single-parent home.
That's great.
But you also got to have, like he mentioned, that support of coaches, of organizations like this, Champs, Nike, people who lend a hand to help out kids. And that's what's so tremendous about this.
Okay. Thank you, Otis. Veteran to the group. Thank you for being all these group. No, veteran to the group. Just 10 years. That's 10 years of nothing. Coach, we get a mic back to Coach there. Let's talk about FSU. You've had lots of players with style and swag. We use that term swag. In your opinion, who's had the most swag of any player that you've coached?
I'll be honest with you, I don't like the term swag. I've never liked that term.
So when you see a player...
I don't want us to swagger. I want us to walk out there and hold our heads high and get after them.
Very good, Coach. So let me ask you this, Coach. You've had a lot of rivalries over the years. You've played coaches like Meyer and Holtz, Paterno. You played Spurrier. If you had to hire any coach that you played against to be an assistant coach or an offensive coordinator, who would you hire and why?
Well, I could hire any of those head coaches to be my assistant coach.
Yes.
Who would I want? Golly, all of them be pretty dadgum good. I know you think I'm nuts, but I'd probably hire Spurrier.
Is that to make that other team not as good? Is that strategy?
Oh, no, I kid. You know, the press tried to make it look like Steve and I hated each other. That's typical press. You know, I mean, he and I always got along pretty doggone good. I pull for him now.
34 years in one place, long time. Did you ever have any aspirations to go to another institute like the NFL?
No, I did not. I was several times I was offered an opportunity. I think all I'd had to do was say yes, and I could have been in NFL. But I'd just rather coach 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old. Yeah. I don't know if I could coach a guy making twice what I'm making, like Giles over here. I don't think I could coach where he's telling me what to do.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach. Nice round of applause for Coach Bowden. Kenny, so you come from the Mecca of basketball, New York City. You know, it's so many countless legends have come from the hard court there. Who are, in your opinion, the top 3 players that you've ever battled with in your career?
Out of New York City?
Out of New York City.
High school or just whatever?
4-time All-City, right?
Yeah, 4 times. So, out of high school.
Any level.
Any level? Well, I have to say Allen Iverson, one. He was tough to guard. He was tough. John Stockton. John Stockton was tough. Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson was extremely tough for me early in my career. He was one of the toughest guys I had to battle against in the NBA. Luckily, I only had to play him twice because he was on the West Coast and I was on the East Coast. So I used to dread going out there to Phoenix. I knew I was gonna have a rough night. But I guess like third year into the league, I overcame all that and I started really, competing and doing my job.
Very good. So during your career, you've had a lot of opportunities to play in some tremendous places: Boston, Atlanta, L.A. What's your most favorite city in Florida to play on?
Yeah, I'm always asked that. I used to like playing at the Forum in L.A., the Spectrum, and where I'm from, the most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Like it was like a great experience when I went to Georgia Tech. That was the only time I got to play at Madison Square. That was the first time we went back home and played Fordham University. That was like in '89, and I had butterflies. I was just so excited just to walk into the locker room. So it was just great going back home.
So what do you think about the moving to Brooklyn? What do you think about that?
The Nets, I think is great. You got two teams in New York now, Brooklyn and the Knicks, and what they did by signing Deron Williams, one of the best guards in the league right now, and the face of that program, and the pieces they put together, I think they're going to be very good, very exciting. So I look forward to it. And I grew up in Left Rack City, Queens. That's about 15, 20 minutes from the arena in Brooklyn. So I just think it's great for the whole area. New Jersey, as Otis knows, when you out there, the arena was so far and you couldn't get to it. So now I think their ticket sales will go up, the whole area, condos, the restaurants, more jobs. It's just a great thing for the whole neighborhood of Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you, Kenny. Dennis, we got a lot of Yankee fans in the room, so we all want to know, what's it like playing for George Steinbrenner? What's it like? Tell us about him.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for having us here. This is something that's pretty special. I grew up in Southern California and was part of the Boys and Girls Club in San Clemente, and I would go to a facility after school and participate in ping pong or play some outdoor sports and basketball and baseball. But this is something that's special for the kids, so gosh, they're lucky to be here. Playing for Mr. Steinbrenner, first of all, I'd like to congratulate the Yankees. Anybody that's followed their phone, I flew in from Detroit, Michigan, so I am somewhat of a Tiger fan by default. And so it looks like that's going to be an exciting series. But Mr. Steinbrenner was a phenomenal man and does not get credit for all the things that he did in the Tampa Bay area, having lived there for 6-7 years like I did in the late 90s, early 2000s. And he was a very, very proud man, and he wanted to win. And he made sure you knew it. And if you weren't getting the job done, he wasn't afraid to, felt like he was grabbing you by the ear and telling you that, let's get yourself together. And I was fortunate. I came up with the Yankees in my first 4 years in the big leagues, and it was quite the experience, and arguably playing on the greatest stage in professional baseball, Yankee Stadium, and there in New York. But it was a pleasure and a privilege I've always felt to play and wear the Yankee pinstripes.
So as a pitcher, what is the one hitter that you absolutely, had to work your game up? You knew it was kind of psychological, maybe a little bit of fear, maybe? I'll throw that word out there. Who was that one hitter?
Oh, there was a lot more than one. It was most of the guys that could do damage, meaning hit the ball out of the ballpark. So Matt Williams, former Giant, third baseman, all-star, seemed like he had my number. I know I met him at a Players Association meeting one year for the first time early in our careers, and I asked him, I said, man, I faced you half a dozen times. He's hit 3 home runs, 2 doubles. I think I got him out once on a line drive to the third baseman. So he goes, I just happened to see it real well out of your hand. And but he was one guy that was definitely a nemesis of mine.
Dennis, thank you for being here.
Okay, thank you.
Who's the Bucks fan in the room? Let's hear for the Bucks fans. Jimmy, it's great having you here.
Thank you.
You know, we talk about, I know for all those fantasy football guys, I think I drafted more tight ends in the first 4 or 5 rounds this year than I ever have. I ask you, you know, since the 70s and 80s, how has the tight end position evolved in your opinion?
Before I answer that, I'd like to say something to Coach Bowden. I'm going to, you know, it's not good to hold grudges, but I wanted to tell you that I always held a grudge against you because you didn't come coach the Bucks. If you had came coach the Bucks, I'd be in the Hall of Fame right now. So, you know, the tight end position has really changed over the years, and one of the things they throw this term out so loosely that he's a great tight end. That word is thrown out there, and now tight ends are mainly pass catchers. And there's some great ones out there. The kid from New England, the kid from the kid from New Orleans, and then there's a kid out in San Francisco. His game is really coming around. But when I played football, man, I wanted to be the best at what I did for the team. And that was, we had a coach named John McKay, and he ran a play called student body right and student body left. And if you couldn't block, the tight end really made the play go. And if you couldn't block that linebacker to make that play work, he was going to find another tight end to do it. And I prided myself on being that guy for Coach McKay. And nowadays, you just don't see tight ends really putting a great deal of effort into their blocking, but they are some tremendous athletes now. And they kind of get in the way of people, but they don't really take it passionately.
Yeah. So of all the Bucks players you've played with, who do you think is absolutely the hands down the best athlete, most athletic skill, talent that you've ever played with?
Well, without sounding condescending, I want to say that I would probably say the best athlete that I ever played with was Ricky Bell. Ricky Bell, I tell you, a lot of people may remember Ricky. Ricky came here at a time when we didn't have great offensive linemen. We had some decent offensive linemen, and he really took a beating. But this guy, he would always persevere. He would always still, even if a guy missed a block, he would pat him on the back and say, hey, man, just get him next time. But he was a tremendous athlete, had great character, and he was just a student of the game. And he was a good friend of mine and a good friend of everybody on the team.
Gentlemen, we can't thank you enough for being here. I can't say it enough. And you're helping us make this happen. Thank you again. And I am going to let the coach eat. Thank you, gentlemen.
Hey, my pleasure. All right, Coach. Good seeing you.
Once again, another round of applause for Booker High Visual Performing Arts.
My story is much too sad to be told, but practically everything leaves me totally cold. The only exception I know is the case when I'm out on a quiet spree, fighting vainly the cold ennui, and I suddenly turn to see your fabulous face. I get no kick from champagne. Mere alcohol doesn't thrill me at all. So tell me, why must it be true that I get a kick out of you? Some get a kick from cocaine. I swear that if I took even one sniff, that would bore me terrifically too. But I get a kick out of you. I get a kick every time I see you're standing there before me. I get a kick, though it's clear to me you obviously don't adore me. I get no
And be a part of the event. And this building is here today, a lot on the shoulders of this individual. So at this time, I'd like to welcome to the stage the President and CEO of United Community Centers, Inc., Mr. Patrick Carnegie.
Well, good evening. Hey, is it Mike? Hello? Good evening. Good evening. How's everyone? Sorry I was late coming up. I was having so much fun shaking hands and hugging folks that I haven't seen in a year, so excuse me for being here, for being late coming up. We can have your attention, please, really. We'll be brief. Thank you so much. So wonderful to see everyone here tonight. I tell you, we're so excited. Our 10th year of the Celebrity Sports Night event, just can't believe it. Along with 10 years of Celebrity Sports Night, this is our 75th year of service to this community. 75 years of building dreams and changing lives. And of course, before we go any further, I want to take out a few minutes to thank the people who have been so instrumental in putting this together. This is our 10th year of Celebrity Sports Night, but we've been working on this project for a long time. And not only just the building of this building, but also programs and services to the community. And probably 15 years ago, the former president and CEO came over from Champs and sat down, and Yvette Kim, we had a meeting, and he looked at the facility that we were in before he heard about the incredible history. He knew about the things that we were working together with the city and the county on to try to build this new facility and reach more children in the community. He said, you know what, at Champs and at Foot Locker, the community is important to us, and we're going to make a pledge to stay with you guys and go to course and get this thing done in this community. And from that day forth, Champ Sports has just been incredible. Rebecca, Byron, the team over there, not only the financial support, which we all know they've helped raise almost $700,000 since we started this event, but the technical support that they provide, marketing, all of the different help that you have, the mentoring, the stuff that my staff and myself have learned from you guys, both personally and professionally, will always carry with us. And we thank you guys. Your contributions have been invaluable. We're a part of the Champs family, and Champs is a part of the 13th Avenue family. So if you and Byron could please come up and accept this very small token of our appreciation to you guys. Let's give these guys a big round of applause. Something they can put out in the lobby out front and have it with pride. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. One more round of applause for Champs. Another guy, friend of mine, this guy, you know when you have very special people that are really bought into the mission, when you talk to him, they say, he doesn't say, Patrick, what are you guys doing this year? Who are you guys having at the event? How's things going over at the center? He says, how are we doing? Who are we having? What are we doing this year? And it's obvious because he's been with us since the first Celebrity Sports Night, and he hasn't missed one yet. And that's our friend, Mr. Otis Birdsong. If you come up, I'd like to just give you a small token of appreciation for, and we'll say perfect attendance. Thank you so much, sir. Wow, 10 years and 75 years of service. A lot of great history at the 13th Avenue Dream Center, and a lot of good things going on now and new things that we're doing. This year, we're excited about to announce a great partnership with the Manatee Family YMCA, where we have a brand new contract school right here at this site for 9th through 12th graders every day right here at the Dream Center, which has been a dream of ours for a while, and it's great to be in partnership with the YMCA, providing that very vital service to this community. We're also expanding our Reading Buddies program. It's a literacy program that we do with the help of Christ Church of Longboat Key. This group, you all send over 50 volunteers every week from Christ Church of Longboat Key to read and be reading buddies with the kids here. 50. And you all that know where Longboat Key is, that's a 40-minute drive each way. So let's give Christ Church of Longboat Key a hand for that. They are totally funding that entire program, and it's expanding this year from kindergarten to 3rd grade. So we really appreciate everything that they're doing for us here. Also, what we're doing, we're launching a new brand here at United Community Centers, a new brand that we'll be able to market our programs, a new website that we're launching, as you can see here on the screen, so we'll be able to reach even more families, more children, with a brand new website and a new brand that we'll be launching to the community very soon. So we're very thankful to Mr. Mike Gardner, another Christ Church of Longboat Key member, who underwrote the entire cost for that project for us, so we really appreciate that. This is why we do what we do every day. Todd, if you come up and share a few words.
How y'all doing tonight? I'm very honored to be here. A lot of people told me I'll never make it, but I thank God for men like Coach Carnegie. I still call him Coach because, I grew up going to the center. It wasn't like this. This is really, really nice. So I appreciate what y'all doing, because there's a lot of kids that have dreams, and here they can see those dreams come true. I have a nice little story about Coach Carnegie. I was having some trouble in high school, but I can remember back when I used to go to the center, how he would motivate me to, follow your dreams, do what's right, really try. Don't let anybody take that away from you. Don't let anybody tell you can't do anything. So as I got in high school, I still was a little rough beyond the edges. I was a little rough. I would sort of kind of try to handle things with anger. And I remember I called up Coach Carnegie, man. He talked with me like, man, hey, if you want to go to Florida State, you hold on to that. You work hard at it, and you'll be there. And he just motivated me and encouraged me when he didn't even have to, and just really mentored me. And it just went back to the old 13th Avenue days, where you go there as a kid and they would mentor you, teach you how to play football, teach you how to play basketball, and just, it was like family. So when even through high school, it never stopped. And I really appreciate what the center did for me. And if they did it for me back then, just imagine the contributions that y'all make and how it's affecting and touching kids now. Because I thank God, because of what y'all did, there's a school here now. And I teach kids that were somewhat similar to how I was. And I can kind of identify with them based on some of the stuff that y'all did as far as contributing and making this place become a reality. Kids need this, because I'm not here to bash the Boys and Girls Club, but I couldn't afford to go to the Boys and Girls Club. I was able to go to the center. I want to say free, but somebody had to sacrifice and make that happen. But I didn't have to pay anything out of my pocket. But somebody sacrificed and made that happen. And I thank God for you great men and women that have contributed to this wonderful place. It is wonderful. I mean, they have computers. They have everything you need for growth. I mean, they teach GED classes here, computer literacy. I mean, just everything. This is an amazing place. So the center for me, man, it really just meant so much to me. This is a special night. This is a special night for me because Coach Carnegie encouraged me to follow my dream to want to go to Florida State. And Coach Bowden's here. When I seen Coach Bowden, man, it's like I just couldn't believe it. It's so good to see Coach Bowden. And it's like he remembered everything about me, just all the details surrounding me coming to Florida State. And I wasn't just another person. You know, I'm somebody, you know what I mean? He remembered everything about me, was able to tell me the surrounding circumstances, the different people, and I love and respect Coach Bowden, and I thank God that he gave me an opportunity when nobody else would, and I hope I didn't disappoint him. And I thank God for Mr. and Mrs. Lee. I know they're in the crowd somewhere because wherever there's an opportunity to give to help kids, I know they're here, and I thank God for them. I thank God for the YMCA for starting a school to help kids like I was. I thank God for my principal, Mr. Billups, for giving me the chance to teach these kids. And I thank God for Coach Pat, man, for what he's done, not only in my life, but for what he's doing in the lives of these kids, man, with the center. Man, this is big time. I can't tell y'all what to give, but I will tell you whatever you give, man, it's amazing what it does for these kids. And it won't come back void. Man, these kids need everything you're giving, and it goes toward a great cause. And I appreciate y'all. I don't know everybody in here, but I appreciate what y'all doing. And for the athletes that came, man, that's big time. I appreciate all y'all. Give a kid something to look up to. And basically what you guys are doing is you're giving kids hope. How many of y'all know if you don't have hope, you don't really have anything? What you give kids and you're giving and anything you're doing, you're giving them hope. The center gave me hope that I could make it. If you don't have hope to make it, man, you end up in jail. You end up on the street corners. You end up places you don't want to be because you just don't care. And what you guys are doing is instilling hope and giving kids hope. That's what we're doing with the school. We're giving kids that wouldn't necessarily get the opportunity that we're giving them. We're giving them hope, a reason to wake up in the morning. That's what you guys are doing when you're giving, showing up, and just your presence alone, man, showing up and using the platform that God has given us to help these kids. It's not about us, it's about these kids. And I can tell you, man, the center really, really, really helped me. And I can still come to the center if I want to talk to somebody. If I want to talk to Coach Pat, even now, man, I can still get that mentor. I want to ask him how to become a better businessman. I mean, he's right there, so I could ask him about business and things of that nature. But it all started me growing up and coming to the center. So there's a lot of Todd Williamses out there, and you guys are doing a good job helping them with just being here and being supportive of the Dream Center. And I thank God for each and every one of y'all. God bless y'all. I don't know how to do this, Mike.
Okay. I mean, you heard it. We talk about building dreams and changing lives. That's what it's all about. And I want to give you one more opportunity. We're going to close down the silent auction in 5 minutes. And I want to remind you, we still have the raffles, the Sarasota giveaway, the Pebble Beach giveaway. This is for 4. So as soon as we close down, I'm going to give you instruction. Then we're going to bring those raffle tickets back up here, and we're going to pick a winner. So you have 5 minutes before we close down the silent auction. Remember, every dollar you spend goes towards the kids and the Dream Center. And thanks again for being here.
Okay, thanks everybody. So last year I came up here and I did the uniform change. I think I changed my jersey probably 3 times. This year I thought I'd play it safe and wear the Tony Romo jersey until Otis gave me some catcalls there. So unbelievable. Not sure what I'm going to wear next year, Otis, but maybe a Dodger jersey. What do you think? All right. So before I go on, I would be remiss. I know at the beginning when they did the introduction on Bobby Bowden, they said, I think they said he's been married for 62 years. So I would be remiss if I didn't say happy anniversary to my wife on Thursday. We've been married 15 years, so happy anniversary. So another 40-some odd years to go, I guess, right? And a lot of college education. So again, I'll be brief here, but of course, a lot of thanks tonight, but certainly I want to say thanks again to the athletes. You guys take a lot of time. You guys do a lot of speaking engagements. You're on the road a lot. You're away from your own families, and to come to this event is unbelievable. So thank you very much for taking the time and coming here to support this great cause. Number 2, of course, the vendors. A lot of the $700,000 plus that's been raised, and it's pretty incredible when you think $700,000. We're pretty damn close to that 7-digit mark, $1 million. But the vendors, thank you very much. All the vendors. Rebecca talked about them all tonight, but again, big thank you to the vendors for all your support. And I know you have a lot of things you can support, and to support this great cause is unbelievable. So thank you again to all the vendors. Next to the community and the business owners, and I know there's a lot of new ones here today, so thank you very much, and a lot of veterans here that have done this since the inception of this great event. Thank you very much, because we're very proud at Champ Sports to belong to the Bradenton and Manatee County community. I know you guys are as well, so thank you very much for your support year after year. And then finally, I've got to give thanks to my team, to the Champ Sports team, to the Team Edition team, and corporate services team. We don't, I'm not here to talk about business, but we're having another great year, and I got to thank you guys for all your hard work. And this event, it literally takes a full year to put on. So all the hard work, the efforts, the time, the volunteers does not go unnoticed. So thank you very much to my team, and thank you to John Wampy as well from the Foot Locker team. We're one big family, and thank you guys all. So thank you very much to the team. So I guess I got a question. So for 10 years, we held this function at a hotel in Sarasota. Beautiful hotel, nice pool. But how great is it to have this function here where you can see where all the money goes, see this beautiful center. If you came here and you walked around, beautiful baseball diamonds, football fields, play gyms. We've got computers that we talked about. How great is it to have this function here? Huh? How great is it? This is really what it's all about. We sometimes think about it and we take a lot of things for granted. But I mean, at the end of the day, I look at what I do, and I sell sneakers. That's what I do. I sell sneakers. Pretty easy job, pretty fun job. I think what Patrick and his team does on a day-to-day basis, they're responsible for so many lives. I mean, this year alone, we have 1,700 kids here. They're responsible for a whole heck of a lot more important things in life than we are. We have a fun job. And you know what? The best thing that Patrick and his team say too, that they have a fun job too. And I know they enjoy doing what they're doing as much as we enjoy doing what we're doing. I think a lot of people know in this room, I have 5 children, and we have 5 children, sorry. You have 5 children? I think we take it for granted a lot of times that kids get everything. They have that kids have access to school, kids have access to all extracurricular activities, and kids have access to computers. They don't. And things like this tonight really make it worthwhile. I'll tell you a little story, and I think with the people here, and a lot of people have said this word tonight, but mentors. They truly are mentors here. I, myself, along with some of the team at Champs earlier this year, came and had a walkthrough. And, you know, to see the joy on the kids' faces, to see the joy in their faces just to see us playing around with them. I learned a lot of things. One, they love being here. Two, I learned I was a really, really, really bad athlete. I'll tell you, to get schooled by 10-year-olds in basketball is something else. But even more embarrassing is to see a bunch of 40-year-old men doing chest bumps when we did a layup on a 10-year-old kid. But we got beat that day, and to see the faces of these 9, 10, yeah, there were some 12-year-olds in there that I think I may have dribbled around. But these kids were so happy. You know, they truly, truly enjoyed being here. They truly enjoyed the fact that we are here to help them. And I'll leave you at this. You know, I've written down here as a company, you know, we have core values that we stand for, that we all were part of naming in our corporation for Foot Locker Inc. And Mr. Hicks, our chairman, has put them on our website for you all to look at. But they're integrity, leadership, excellence, service, teamwork, innovation, and finally, community. That's our final value, and we're all here tonight to talk about the community. And I'm proud to represent Champ Sports here tonight. I'm proud to represent Manatee County. I'm proud to represent Bradenton, and you all should be very proud of what you've done to help out 13th Avenue community. So thank you very much, and have a great night.